This is the image that I'm going to use right now. So I'm using this piece of paper, and the first thing I'm going to do, let's see. Okay, so that's kind of very loosely what we had with that image. Now I'm just going to use coffee. There's the face right there. The head, that's the torso. The arm comes up here. There's the other arm right there. And then, oh, he's got shorts on. Lovely. So the legs. Then we got there. It's so much trickier trying to do it under an angle. Plus, I'm looking at it. Then those come off. Panel right there. And then, if it's all aligned, her arm should be roughly around here, which then brings me down to her knee, which is right there. So the knee, then down into the calf, right over here. And then the tip of the shoe is going to go there, and then the tip of the shoe right here. This helps me just kind of carve out that. Let me show you the image one more time. So that's what we're looking at, right? I always worry I'm going to fall flat on my face doing this. It helps me really sort of define that space. And when I get to the figures, it's also going to help me define those figures. That's when I'm really going to sort of worry. So like should go like around about there. The heads go to about there. Let's see, then her shoulders come in. It goes over. That looks about right. Goes around the length of her arm. And also, I would do the contour of the figure first and then fill in all the rest of the background. So I'll do that right now. So instead of just starting painting all the background, blah, 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 I might start contouring the figures first. So since I'm kind of on a roll here, we put this up. We go as close to, and remember, you want to go just slightly beyond the figure so that when you then put in the figure, the background is actually behind the figure, right? Not sort of having to worry about running into it. Then we got her shoulder right about there, and the arm stretches up to the sleeping man. Okay, so you see, it's already kind of helping us define that relationship, that figure, that space. And then, now we get to the sleeping man. And remember, I'm going just slightly past the figure. That's why I first outlined where the figure is. And now when I'm doing the background, I'm tucking it just slightly beyond the figure, right? Because when I paint the figure, I want the figure to be in front of the background, not the other way around. If I come just to the edge of their contour, like if I paint it only up to right here, then I have to worry that what if I made a mistake and actually the shoulder should be more sloped. Now I got all this to match. So I want to paint like right about here and then worry about painting this on top of that. All right, so we got that. Go up to right there, roughly where his head is going. So that's already kind of given us a nice little relationship right there and kind of defining that space. So her arm comes down and picks up roughly at the top of his thigh, which comes out, and then the knee comes out. So that goes right there. Let's see, I am right over there. So boom, that goes there. And the top of the feet go right there. So I can paint all of this. The shirt comes down to right around here where her leg is. Okay, we got the knee up there, the leg comes down, tapers off to the ankle, and the shoes are right about there. His pants that come up, then goes to the back of his calf. That comes down. The heel is right at an ankle, which means it's right there. All right, that's more or less it. Boom. So that, right? Quickly filling in the rest of the space because just for time, I left that sort of undone. touch up and make sure that I got what I see right there, the nose, the mouth, just to kind of really help me check that those proportions are about correct, that I didn't sort of make a major mistake somewhere. Shoulder, her shirt comes up that way. I can now use paint to help me define some like pockets, like for example, we got her shirt comes to right up here. That all kind of tucks in right about there. Then another dark pocket is okay. Then we got right in this, his arms here always are folded or creating a lot of shadows in the shirt, which kind of goes up to there. Arms kind of up here, that creates that, so that comes there. Then his pants are creating this big shadow as it butts up against her knee. That's where her hand is going to go. So what I'm doing also with this right now is helping me sort of plot reference points. Like here, let me show you. If I've measured correctly, what I was talking about is, see the shadow right here in the bottom of his pants leads straight into her hand. So this negative space right here should kind of be wedged between this dark shape and this dark shape, right? More of those shadows, because then her hand is right there, arm, legs come over, would be right there, and you see that's the first mistake. The second thigh should be to right about here, which I've missed, so it means I'm going to have to add it on. And then the shadow under his pants and next to her knee, there's that shadow on a chair, which I actually haven't painted yet, but I can add the shadow. So that's kind of where the chair is going to go, below her thigh right there. And then as we come down to her calf, there's a big strong shadow across the bottom of the chair that leads from one side of the calf to the other. We get that. Below the chair, there's a very prominent half curved shadow right there. We add that, which leads down to the top of her foot right there. That's the shadow, comes here. Now we have these things, then that should line up, and we get exactly right on to the tip of her shoe, then the outside shadow of the chair leading up to the bottom of the chair. We have a shadow from the chair leading to his feet, because that's the shadow of his legs, right about right there. Boom. So the legs are right about, so the legs are too long, I can tell right away. The legs should come to right about right here. Then the calf comes down right about there. The ankle should be right about there. And the heel should be right about there. So also see what we've done with these shadows now. I've sort of repositioned a bit reference points. And now, for example, like, oh yeah, the legs are correct. The arms are more correct. That's more correct. I'm almost done. We can also do some more shadows back here as they get into the neck, and then on the back of the chair behind her, which would define her face. That goes right there, bumps up against her shoulder, kind of carves that, coming down into the top of her outside tricep right there, and helps bring it down. And this is, remember, where I was off. It was right there, because his upper thigh should be more or less aligned with right about where her chest is. So then that should be right there, comes up, we darken that shadow, boom, and then sort of very thin line if I wanted to help me define where that chair parameter goes, which means that this leg is up here. I'm going to leave it here, and then next week I'm going to end up adding more colors to it. I'll do another little demo.